What's up, guys? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of our videos. Also, make sure you follow us all over social media so you don't miss any of our content or show announcements. And with Jokic, JJ had a game plan. So let's talk about that game plan. One of the things I talked about, and for the record, I actually do think that in the big picture, Denver will find more ways to score against the Lakers. They have too big of an advantage in Jokic. One of the big things I think they could do is just when they're bringing that double from the baseline, Jokic has just got to look to score. Like, he just needs to shoot and shoot and shoot. And even when he misses, he can follow it and get the rebound. He's too much bigger than all those guys. He's got to try to force his way through sometimes, I think, a little bit more. But one of the things I talked about, even though Denver presents issues to the Lakers, for 17 games coming into tonight, and I haven't seen the updated stats, but I would assume it's tonight after 18 games too, the Lakers have been the very best defense in all of NBA basketball. That doesn't mean they're going to strangle Jokic for a 7-game series, but what it does mean is they're probably going to get some stops. The two things that I talked about when we talked about the Laker defense were they've got good defensive personnel, better defensive personnel than people think. Vando's a great defender. DFS is a good defender. Gabe's a good defender. LeBron, when he's engaged, is a good defender. Austin, when he's engaged, is a good defender. They've got good defenders. But the second piece of it was defensive game planning, which has been a strength, an under-discussed strength of J.J. Redick's coaching job this entire season. The game plan with Jokic was simple. Started with Rui on him, put Jackson on Aaron Gordon and help. But regardless of who was on him, because there were transition cross matches and other different things where the Lakers would end up with kind of different matchups. But it started with fronting the post. Anytime anyone else had the ball, if Jokic was trying to post, the guy guarding him was getting in front. Fronting the post is a very difficult job. Jokic is good at sealing people on his backside. You got to use swim moves. You got to move your feet quickly. You got to sit low. You got to squat down and push him back to force an over-the-top pass. What happens with an over-the-top pass? The Miami Heat are the best at this. You bracket it with backside help to shrink the passing window. It makes it much harder. Now, one of the ways that Jokic was countering that was he was catching the ball further out, which is one of the upsides of fronting. When you front the post, a lot of times it forces the offensive player to come further and further out so that he has less traffic behind him that he can create a passing angle. Once the ball came into Jokic, they did the exact same thing every time. The guy who was fronting the post would quick disengage and get behind. Then he would start playing the inside shoulder, the paint side shoulder of Jokic, and try to force him towards the baseline. As soon as Jokic spun out of the baseline, he would spin down towards the baseline, and the Lakers would double off of Aaron Gordon, or whoever it was that was in the dunker spot, from the baseline. Then, whoever was guarding the weak side shooter would dig down on Aaron Gordon. They were packing the paint, doubling on that baseline side. They did a good job of attacking Jokic with that double, so they got a lot of deflections. That was a big part of turnovers. Turnovers were a huge part in this game as Denver and Jokic tried to solve this problem and kept throwing the ball into arms as the Lakers would go running out the other way looking to score. And look, here's the thing. You got to concede stuff. If you're going to front Jokic, bracket Jokic, double him on the baseline side, guys are going to get open. And guys made shots. There's a version of this game where Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, and Russell Westbrook don't make 8 threes, and the Lakers are up 25 in the first half. They gave up. They gave up some of those looks, but they never overreacted. They stuck to their game plan. They stayed disciplined and did their jobs. They tilted the shots towards other players, and that's the game plan for JJ. What JJ is saying is we're going to have to give up some stuff, but good luck keeping up with us on the other end of the floor, because you're going to have Aaron Gordon taking jump shots. You're going to have Christian Brown taking jump shots. You're going to have Russell Westbrook taking jump shots. The Lakers are going to have Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, Dorian Finney-Smith, Austin Reaves, Luka Doncic raining threes. And they're all going to be pretty open. And all of those guys are 40+%, except for Austin. And you tell me how you feel when you're a fan rooting against Austin Reaves when he has a wide open look. Tell me if you think it's going in. I thought it was a really, really well executed game plan. The Lakers battled on the glass. They did a great job of digging down and deflecting the ball away from the bigger Nuggets players. Like, That's the other big chess piece here, right? Is like, can Denver use their size to dominate the Lakers on the glass? They had 12 offensive rebounds. The Lakers had 9. It wasn't a substantial factor in this game. There's certain things you can do with your spacing to try to make it so that when Jokic spins, he's got easier reads. They did some stuff with Russell Westbrook in the second half where they had him tee up or like basically cut right in front of the rim so that Jokic would have 2 cut reads. As he's spinning to the baseline, he has Gordon on the baseline waiting, and he's got Russ right in front of the rim. Do you remember that play where Russ got the layup right by LeBron and then he fell down and slid into camera row? That's a perfect example of that type of sequence where you can try to at least attack it with cutting instead of all of these skip passes to mediocre shooters. But like, I think Jokic is going to have to just start trying to be a bowling ball. He's going to have to just pound and spin off of that first defender, try to go through the double and just get those arms out wide, start hitting bodies, get offensive rebounds and putbacks. Like, Jokic is going to have to start trying to attack this as a scorer. I think that's something that they're going to have to look into. They did get good stuff with Jamal Murray. That was an encouraging piece. The Lakers were doing a lot of going under actions with Jamal Murray and just forcing him to make those mildly contested pull-up jump shots, and he was hitting them. I think he hit 6 threes in this game. Again, if you're going to piece together a successful offense, it's got to be multiple different things you can do. The Jamal Murray stuff worked. I thought Michael Porter Jr. got some decent looks coming off of curls that he missed. There's a version of that where more of those go in. You actually hit quite a few shots with your mediocre shooters. You're going to have to get Jokic to provide more scoring pop, though. And the only way he's going to do that is if he looks at the double and says, screw that, I'm trying to score anyway. Really interesting game. We're going to see a lot more from the Lakers and learn a lot more about them in time. Their schedule is brutal at this point. They're going to face a bunch of different types of teams that are going to force their offense to try to shape shift and score in different ways. But I thought that this was kind of a proof of concept tonight that like teams that don't have elite personnel defensively at all 5 positions are going to struggle to guard the Lakers. And if the Lakers score enough, their defense just has to be good enough. And this was a Denver offense that had been annihilating everyone for months, and the Lakers did a great job holding them in check tonight. After 17 games of being the number 1 defense in the NBA, I think it's time to start taking this team seriously as a championship contender. All right, guys, that is all I have for tonight. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys for supporting me and supporting the show. We are taking tomorrow off, but we'll be back on Monday to cover a jam-packed Sunday slate and a bunch of other stuff. I will see you guys then.